I'm going to skip that one. Part 19, a curve is defined parametrically, where x equals alpha a omega t minus sine omega t, and y equals a root 3 minus 2 omega t. Yeah, okay. So what values of x is y equal to 0? So we know it's equal to 0 when... Oh, what's the value of x when y equals to 0? Okay, so this happens when a root 3 minus 2 cosine omega t equals 0. So we get 2 cosine omega t equals root 3. So this is when omega t has to equal root 3 over 2. So this is from our triangle here, where we have root 3, 1, 2, like that. This has to be 30, that has to be 60. So root 3 over 2, adjacent over hypotenuse. Yeah, that works out. This is when theta equals 30, okay? But we need to do it in radians. So 30 is actually pi over 6 plus 2 pi k, where k can be a lot of numbers. Or it's on the other side, because if we have the cosine graph here, if this is like 30, this is 330, or 11 pi over 6, or it equals 11 pi over 6 plus 2 pi k. So we know that when omega t equals pi over 6 plus 2 pi n, 2 pi k, we know that x equals a outside of omega t, which is pi over 6 plus 2 pi k, minus the sine of omega t, which is pi over 6 plus 2 pi k. And this simply equals a outside of pi over 6 plus 2 pi k minus the sine of pi over 6 plus 2 pi k. Well, we know that it will sine repeats every 2 pi k. So the sine of pi over 6 is actually just a half. So it's this minus a half. And then similarly for the other one, we have x equals a 11 pi over 6 plus 2 pi k minus sine of 11 pi over 6 plus 2 pi k, which is just the same with this one because this repeats every 2 pi k. So the sine of 11 pi over 6 will be of like 330 will be the same as the sine of minus 30, and the sine of minus 30 equals minus sine of 30, which is minus a half. So this equals a 11 pi over 6 plus 2 pi k minus a half, which is plus a half.